see how this video turns out. Another how to pack your kayak, I guess. Or not how to, there is no how to pack your kayak. Just suggestions and things I tend to think about while I'm doing it. So those right there, and actually that one tub with the yellow lid up there, are camping gear and some kayak equipment, dry bags, and just storage carry totes. So I'm gonna go through it and lay out what I want to take with me. This will be the first time in a while I've gone camping without the wife. She isn't feeling good, and meeting some other people up on the Swanee River. 4 days, 3 nights, and let's see what we want to take with us. I'll like break it down and then I'll show you what I'm taking, and then pack it up and show you how I pack it. All right. Okay, so I'm starting to unpack stuff and get it together. And so I try to keep things, and this is just my analness, I guess, in separate containers. Like this bag here, it's open. In the storage box is how I can keep all the stuff together in there. And if you can see, I have all these batteries in bags, and they say extra and what lamp they might have come out of. But what I did find this time, and my thing is I store everything out here in the garage. This is Florida. It can get very hot. And I have 3 bags that have blown up batteries in them. So the point here is more, not as much don't store stuff in the garage, which really is a good idea. I don't store my tents or sleeping bags out here, but there's a limit to how much room you can get in the house. But the point I'm showing here is if you keep things in separate little bags or somehow separate it so that if something does happen, I mean, this could have happened on the trip. I wouldn't want 1 or 2 bad batteries to ruin all the good batteries. And it just helps to separate stuff like that. And I don't even know how old some of these batteries are. They've been around for years. And I'll be honest, I'm probably going to go through a few of them and check the expiration dates on them, because a lot of batteries will have dates, and see where I'm at and swap out some for some new batteries. And for those that don't know, if you're on Amazon, these Pro Cells, you can see right there, these are Duracell's commercial battery. Just as good, cheaper. All right. So let's see what we got going on here right now. So because where we're going on the Swanee River, they have these docks down by the water, and then you go up stairs to get to the camp area. We'll use, these are security cables right here. I'll be able to lock my kayak up at their racks down at the bottom. Water pump. That first bag is my sleeping bag. And if you look, all my bags will have these little tags on them. That way I know without opening them what the heck's in there. The second one is my tent and fly. And then you can see down here, some of this stuff is not packed yet. But this is my mess kit back there, 2 fuel cans. That right there is a tarp, some poles for the tarp, a little extra cordage. This right here is fat wood, and actually I'm taking this whole box of fat wood to give out some of it to people that are camping with us, just because I have like so much of it. I bought like 50 pounds of it like 5 or 6 years ago and barely go through it. So some other stuff, some the poles for my tent. So those I'll pack separately in the boat, not in the bag. There's the footprint for it, and some stakes, the parts that hold the poles together at the top. That is a little stake hammer. Those things are really nice. I like the plastic ones because they don't destroy your stakes, especially if you're using plastic stakes, because the plastic, this won't cause them usually to chip unless they're like freezing cold. And then on this end, you can see where it's a little bit worn. You could hook your stakes and pull them out of the ground. So there we have some more stakes for the tarp. That GSI bag is a small aluminum folding table, and then a Helinox chair. Probably won't use this because we'll probably have wood. 2 of the nights we're staying at state campground, and then one night we're staying at the canoe outpost on the Swanee River. So we're probably not going to be like cutting wood. I'm taking out more in case something happens on the way on the river, but that's also part of my wood prep kit there: axe and a folding knife or folding saw. In that bag, they're hard to see. Let's see if we can see one through it. Right there, those are thermocell insect repellents. That right there is a C Gear sand mat. And I usually throw that out in front of the tent. And what's nice about that, sand will fall through it, but it doesn't come back up out of it. So you can like rinse off on that mat and it'll clean itself basically, and you'll have clean mat and you'll be clean. Just some digging hole potty gear, and then this little brush and dustpan I use sweep out the tent. That right there is just a little line for hanging stuff up, drying, whatever. Towels and a small little personal mess kit. Here's some backup batteries for my little light, Coleman light, head lamp. This right here, pocket bellows for fire starting. A couple fire steels, which really are ferrocerium rods. It kills me on like Survivor. They keep calling it a flint. It's not a flint. Some backup matches, cigarette lighter, and a brake light. Snap. And that's just a start. There's more, and as I get it piled up and packed away, and then choice of bags that I can pack it in. I try to stay 10 liter or smaller in the boat. Packs in tight, and you get no issues with them. And these are pretty nice. If you haven't seen them, these are just mesh packs. They come small, large, extra large. And what's nice about those are things that you're not worried about getting wet. Makes it easy, you can see right in them. Oh, one last thing. So many things going on. So right here, this is my Sawyer water purification system. I'm just running some water through it just to make sure everything's functioning all right, and also it primers it. This is a purifier, not a filter. Big difference. If you don't know, check it out. But good system, works fine. All right, so we're getting much closer. That box, like again, that is not going into the back of the boat, but I've kind of arranged stuff around a little bit. These were just empty bags, so that I'm getting an idea of weight and size. So because of the skeg box, these taper bags won't fit, but two of them will fit right up here in the bow. These things are great if you use them. I mean, it get you pretty packed up to the nose and easy to pull out. And in the back, all this little stuff, all these little things, believe it or not, a ton of that stuff will pack up behind that skeg box. And what you can do too is if you can't reach back there, you can always put a piece of like 511 on there, or string or rope or whatever, and that way you have a pull to pull it out once you jam it up there. And this, I'm not sure here yet, this is my primary sleeping pad. This used to be my primary sleeping pad. This one's just a little bit thicker and nicer and comfy. This one's not quite as comfy, but works. I don't know how I'm going to be for space, so that'll depend on which goes there. This big red bag is my field med kit. I take that whenever I go camping. There's the water purification pack down. Get a general idea of what's going on. This stuff here in the middle, that'll all go in my day hatch, and some other stuff also. That blue bag and this bag right here, that's food and snacks, way more than I'll ever eat, but who cares? I have room for it. And these are thermocells right here. So just to give you an idea. And then, so what I'll do is once I pack the whole boat down, make sure everything fits the way I want it, when I unpack, I'll decide whether I'm going to use my big size beaching bags, or I have some smaller ones over here, these blue ones. If it takes 2 or 3 of those, the big ones, I mean, 2 of them will fit all that in there easily, believe it or not. It may take 3 of the blues, but they're a little bit lighter to carry around. This little pile here is just some extra dry bags in case somebody forgot and needs. And a little bit of stuff, a couple Domery bags. So even though I'm filtering water, I always take 2 bags of water, or one, at least 1, if not 2 bags of water with me, just for the first day and get you started. And in case there is a problem, even though I do know we'll have water at all the places we stop. And somebody else has a purifier too. Somebody made a point the last time we were out there that one of the camp places water tasted like crap, and our purified was better. This is just a little, it's actually waterproof sealant tape to do like an emergency repair on a boat. Some of my daily vitamins and stuff, and just some general stuff that I carry with me, my shoes, all sitting up in the boat so as I pack it down. Short tow line, and those are batteries for the GoPro and my phone, and that's just a float for my camera. I'm trying not to move because somebody had complained that I jump around too much and I'm too shaky in this, and I felt really bad. I almost had to go find a safe place, but it's getting there. And then these are all the cartons, they're done, so I'll be putting those up. And it's just now a matter of, I got to go buy a couple small flasks to deal with the tequila, or I won't have no tequila, and I don't know about the paddling then. No, I'm joking about the paddling part, not the tequila. All right, I'll show you when I get packed in the boat. Okay, so what I want to do is just make a quick point here. When you're figuring, you want to try to balance your load a little bit, and the closer you get to the cockpit, front hull or back hull, or the heavier you want the things. You don't want the heavy things way out at the ends of the boat, or it'll just cause the boat to track funny. And I usually end up with, right behind the seat, the water bag, one of these, and if I take 2, I'll put the other one right in my day hatch. So what I was going to show you here real quick is, and what I'm going to do is, so let's see if we can see. So up here, I have a whole bunch of stuff already packed up on the back side of the skeg box right there. And I'm going to pull all that out and then see how much stuff I got back up in there. And it's using those little compartments like that and that's why packing things small helps, that you can fill all these spaces, because what you don't want to have happen is, if you do roll the boat, you don't want the whole load of the boat to shift and all of a sudden it's on the deck. It needs to have the heaviest stuff at the bottom, and that way it'll help you get the boat back over, whether you can roll or not, even if you have to flip the boat. All right, let me unpack that back and we'll take a look at it. So all this stuff, there's my foot so you see how big it is. All this was up in behind that box, or around it. And what I'll do, and I knew I was going to pull it out, so I didn't do it, but what I'll normally do is take some of these poles from the tent. I'll slide those up in there too. I don't want really heavy stuff. This is all pretty light, and it just fills the space, the stuff that I want to carry with me. And if I find anything else, I may shift it around a little bit. That'll probably just pack out the front right there. That'll go in my day hatch. Bam. And actually one of these, so we have 2 sleep systems. So this right here is just a basic standard lightweight mat, sleeping mat. This here is a much nicer one, X-Bed, can't remember, it's got an R rating on it. Let's see, right here, hang on. It's very heavy duty, but look, it's got an R rating of 6 on it. So if you have this pad between you and the ground, you're not losing heat. And with the wife and I, we have 2 of those, and those are part of a comforter sleep system. So basically, you put the 2 mats together. We have straps that keep them from pulling apart in the center. There's a sheet that goes over both of them, and then we have a quilt, not a comforter, but a quilt is what I meant to say, that just covers us up. instead of 2 sleeping bags or taking 2 sleeping bags and zipping them together. Some of them would let you open them up fully and then you could zip 2 together. Where this mat here is like a sleeping bag basically as far as insulation goes under you, so you stay warm without having to have a sleeping bag under you, just a nice sheet, just a little bit more comfortable, I think. All right. Okay, so it did take a little bit of work. That box is going in the truck anyhow. It's not going with me down the river. Pretty much everything except for that actually gonna broke down, go in my vest. That I'm leaving. I just couldn't fit it. I could have if I really wanted to, but I didn't see a point in it. But like I said, this boat is packed tight. And there's still room, actually, a good chunk in my day hatch right here. Now I got this knife in a bag and some other stuff will go in there behind my seat. So a water bottle, I'm only gonna take one. And then the back's packed full. So I should end up with basically nothing on my deck. And that's not really, I mean, it's not a high volume boat, it's not a low volume boat either, but there's a bit of stuff in there. Now I have to pack it down and see what size of these bags I got to get in and find a place. Still end up having to take up some of that room in the day hatch. Because what you'll do is when I get to wherever we're camping or staying that night, I will unpack the boat into one of these bags here and carry it up and leave the boat down by the water locked up. And it's hard to see, but right there in that yellow bag is my lock. So now I got to unpack it, pack it all into these bags, and I'm pretty much ready to go. A couple little things. I even got the tequila in there. 2 10-ounce flask of tequila. You know, beer is just too heavy. This is a lightweight sport here. All right, let's take a quick look here from the last little clip I showed you. I went back. I didn't like the way the boat packed out. It was just not, everything wasn't fitting in good, and I needed a little bit more space. So you can see I actually gained some space here. And the stuff you see on top doesn't go in these holes. I gained space here, so I have room to put the bags and anything I need if I need something else. And so what did I do to gain space? Well, I took stuff in big bags and put it in smaller bags. The smaller bags give you more chance of filling in all the little nooks and crannies. Also, the bigger bags tend to hold a little bit more air, which is harder to get out, so they take up more space. And actually, I've been putzing around and let me slow down so I don't have anybody mad at me. I came in here and you can see it's pretty full. This right here, most important, that's tequila. And I pack no ice and I take no cooler when I go camping. It's just another thing that you have to worry about. If I go out for a day, I'll take a little ice mule bag with some drinks, but that's about it. So going to smaller bags and just gave me a little bit more flexibility, and I was able to pack everything in a little bit cleaner. All right, just a little touch up on that. I wanted to let you know. And those are the tricks to packing these boats. And it's finding the spaces, filling every little space. And what you don't want is that load to shift. Once it's packed, it needs to be pretty tight because you don't want it to all fall to one side or the other side. Also, there's enough air in all these bags that even though I've filled the hull with more weight, I've not eliminated all the flotation that was there before. There is less, but there is still some. All right. And I actually wanted these tapered bags. I eliminated and I used an actual compression sack. All right, so here's what I got to pack in the boat. Those 2 bags are actually the things that are going with the boat, and those bags will go that way. I can unload under those and move them up to the camp area. That bag there is just my vest and my spray skirt and stuff that's going to actually stay in the truck. Some towels for when I get back from last day, and another pair of clothes. So really there's just like 2 items in there that are even going with me. And then there's the boat on the truck. Ready to go. So departing at like 5 in the morning tomorrow, and a 3-hour ride basically. All right,